Rising bills are costing Nescafe customers in Sydney's inner west.
If electricity bills are going up, if there's another scare globally, people don't come out of their houses, they're scared to spend. Hey Theo, you ready to pay, mate?
He says electricity is one of his fastest growing expenses.
We're paying $5,000 a month on our power, which is crazy.
And he's not alone. Electricity bills rose by as much as 16% on average in the last financial year. In the closing days of a hard-fought campaign, there's a bitter battle over power prices and how that electricity is produced.
With the solar resources, with the wind resources, with the space that we have here in Australia, to have renewables backed by gas, backed by hydro and backed by batteries.
I certainly strongly believe in, and that is a zero emissions nuclear technology.
Almost half of the country's electricity currently comes from renewables, but it's a long way off Labor's target of 82% by 2030.
Farmed wind and solar is growing slowly, much more slowly than was intended, not least because electricity transmission is proving to be so problematic.
We may well reach it by 2035 or 2036, and that's still going to deliver better outcomes from an emissions reductions perspective over time.
Labor is doubling down on renewables, wanting to store more of the sun's energy by making solar batteries 30% cheaper. It's hoping to add more than 1 million batteries to the network, easing prices by reducing demand. Also on offer is another round of rebates, $150 to help households. Meanwhile, the coalition is shifting away from renewables to back nuclear. It's promising 7 nuclear power stations to be built across 5 states. The first up and running by 2035, the lifespan of aging coal-fired power plants would be extended. By 2050, it says the transition to nuclear would cost taxpayers $330 billion, generating 38% of electricity, another 49% coming from wind and solar. But these numbers are hotly contested. Experts, including the CSIRO, say nuclear will take too long and cost more than renewables.
Nuclear is a very distant prospect, and we simply don't know what it costs.
We've got to replace 60% of our coal-fired generation over the next 15 years, and there's no way that nuclear technology could be built and operational within Australia during that time frame.
While the debate on nuclear rages, the opposition is focusing on its gas reservation policy, aiming to bring down bills. It says a surcharge would be placed on East Coast exports, making gas sold to the domestic market more profitable.
We've seen the benefits of the gas reservation policy in Western Australia. There's some other challenges though on the East Coast. There's long contracts that have been written for our gas, and that brings a level of sovereign risk.
But the coalition's plan to scrap a $20 billion fund that helps plug renewables into the electricity grid is rattling the industry.
It creates additional uncertainty in the market around what investors can actually put their money into.
Instead, the coalition wants to divert that money to regional areas on infrastructure and services. Both parties are aiming to meet net zero emission targets by 2050. 2019 was the warmest year on record. Last year was the second warmest. But the pitch to voters has shifted away from campaigning against climate change to lowering power bills.
There's no country I can point to globally that in the transition has achieved greatly lower prices.
The conversation we need to be having is which set of policies can make the increase in power prices as small as possible.
Labor and the coalition are offering 2 long-term blueprints in response to a global problem. But whoever wins the keys to the lodge on May the 3rd faces the short-term challenge of delivering bill relief.